of the Brazilian wilderness lies a prehistoric rock shelter. It's decorated with thousands of strange paintings. South American archaeologists are finding unusual human remains here. The skulls are not European, but they're not American Indian either. They belong to none of the prehistoric races known to have set foot in the New World. The paintings on the rock shelters are much older than those of the native Indians. These hunters are chasing giant armadillos. The animal flourished during the Ice Age, long before the arrival of the Indians. Other images show human figures with decorated bodies and wearing masks. They hint at some kind of ritual. To date, no one has figured out what these scenes mean. Archaeologists have just finished digging in remote northeast Brazil. When they reached layers 40,000 years old, they began to find pieces of quartzite that look remarkably like stone tools. The Brazilian finds show that the New World was discovered tens of thousands of years earlier than previously believed, and certainly well before the time of the American Indians. Prehistoric skulls were found buried in layers of soil 9 to 12,000 years old. They are the oldest skulls in the Americas. Using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, scientists hope to find out which race they belong to. They are very similar to modern Aborigines and Africans, and have no similarity at all with the Mongoloids from Asia or American Indians. But if the first people to enter the New World were indeed the ancestors of the Aborigines, how could they have reached the Americas? South America is more than 8,000 miles away from Australia, on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. During the Ice Age, it's true there was a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska, and in theory, the ancestors of the Aborigines could have migrated north and crossed over into Alaska, but they wouldn't have got very far. A permanent mass of ice sat on Canada for thousands of years. But could there have been another route into South America? Scientists are convinced that the very first ocean crossings may have happened by accident. Ocean currents can do strange things. Only recently, 5 fishermen set off in the middle of a storm off Africa and arrived in Brazil just 3 weeks later. If the ancestors of the Aborigines did reach South America by chance, they would have been the first to people the New World. They would have become the American Aborigines. But if this is what happened, where then are their descendants? For a long time, the Aborigines lived alone in the continent. But then around 14,000 years ago, the climate began to warm up. In Alaska, an ice corridor opened up. Animals took advantage and crossed through, and chasing them were the Mongoloid hunters. Around 12,000 years ago, the ancestors of the American Indians entered the New World. The Mongoloids moved swiftly, colonizing North and South America in just a few thousand years. And that's precisely the time frame when scientists believe the American Aborigines began to disappear, perhaps explaining why there are no Aborigines in the Americas today. They were wiped out. But persecuted peoples often avoid extinction by escaping into the wilderness. Maybe another tribe of long-lost American Aborigines is awaiting discovery in some remote corner of the Brazilian jungle.